What is going on, people? Welcome to the Midwest Mike Sports Show. I am your host, Mike Klean, and I am joined here by the one and only Midwest motherfucking Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. Good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. Last night was a good night, man. We had that one terrible push, which,
Yeah.
was gross in itself, but a plus day, back-to-back plus days. And I like the sound of that, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah. 2 for 2 since the kids have been going to daycare. So that's good. Hopefully a sign of things to come. So
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. We got Justin already in the house. What up, fellas? How you going? How you doing, Justin? I think Justin
what
might be
is
joining us to share a play as well. Justin,
Yes,
check your
sir.
email. I sent you the link. You got to click that link specifically to hop on. It might be a little finicky, but first time doing this for you guys. So we'll figure it all out as we go here. But
Him and Jimmy.
yeah, him and Jimmy. So we got two guys that are hopping on for us today. They're going to be sharing a play, and anybody can also do that anytime. So Zach Johnson in the house. I'm feeling a Midwest run.
Zach.
How about it? How you coming in,
yeah.
though, Mike? How you feeling, man?
Mentally, man, kind of, honestly, I feel different just the last couple of days. And I'm not just saying that. I think it's just from not having distractions just around the house and stuff. Been more patient, I think, is the main thing. It's harder when you're distracted and stuff. You kind of now I can say the yesterday and today I've just kind of been more patient. Like there's stuff that I've liked, but I don't post it right away. Kind of just wait, feel it out as the day goes on, and and then start posting stuff in the afternoon and just kind of I got more time to work stuff kind of more in depth, I guess is the way to put it. So versus kind of working it, I like it, posting it. No, it's kind of I work it, I like it. Let's see if I like it here in a couple hours after going through it another time. So
right. Well, it makes sense, man. And hopefully this is a recipe to a winning routine, man.
Yeah,
And you're in it right now, so it's great.
We've the last couple of days we've had a lot of good reads. Even Monday, that under in the TCU Georgia game, I still think it's a good read. I just didn't, I was banking. Obviously we cashed 3 units on Georgia. Thought it would be a blowout. It was. TCU only scored 7 points. The over still hit. Just didn't see Georgia putting up what they did. So, shit like that happens. But overall, I still like that read on the under. Yesterday had a lot of good reads. Carolina again blew a 3-1 lead. They've just been fucking us here lately. Bad reads on Portland and the Warriors. But other than that, the other ones, we cashed the Clippers, which we both like. The Clippers 2-unit play of the day. That I don't think the Mavs led for 1 second in that game.
I don't think they did.
So that was nice. Portland's just struggling, turnover shooting. It kind of sucks. We've lost 3 straight days, parlays by 1 leg. 2 nights ago, the Kings set a franchise record for threes made for us to lose the under. And then last night, the Trailblazers had their season low from 3-point land. And they had 3. They actually had a shot at the end. They had 3 threes in the last 15 seconds. They just needed one of them to tie it. And we needed the money line for the parlay. And just couldn't do it. They're struggling. So
they are, man. They are. But
college basketball 2-0-1 yesterday. We cashed Florida, cashed Utah State. Good reads on those, and then good read on San Diego State. I think they're up like 17 with a little over 3 minutes to go, and then that last minute was just brutal to watch. I mean, they would literally inbound the ball no problem, and then just turn it over. Like, what are you doing? And then the one time, the guy had a shot. He could have just ran in for a layup. And decides to hang on to the ball and wait to get fouled, which makes no fucking sense when you can take a guaranteed 2 versus having to make 2 at the free throw line. And I think if I remember right, he made the first one and missed the second one. So had he just gone in and taken the fucking layup, we probably would have hit that by a point. But I'm understand the sense of waiting, burning an extra 2 seconds and then trying to hit 2 free throws versus just taking the 2 if they're going to give it to you. So
Right. Exactly. But reads have been good, man. I think reads have been good, and it showed 2+ days here, and we're going to build off of it. But we have Jimmy in the house, who is going to be our first ever guest on. That's going to share their play. So here we go, Jimmy. Welcome.
How you doing, bros?
What's up,
How's
Jimmy?
it going, man?
How you doing, man?
Good.
All right,
So,
what you got for us?
I got the Edmonton Oilers -1.5, man. I think they're in a good spot coming off back-to-back losses. This is a revenge game against the Ducks. We all know the Ducks aren't doing very well themselves, and I think they're just in a perfect spot for that -1.5.
Yeah, and I think that's at like -110 if I'm not wrong. So it's not.
Yeah,
it's not,
I got it yesterday or last night, I should say. I got it at -105, but I think it's at -110 now.
Yeah. So I'll be honest with you. I've been looking at that, and I will probably be on that. My only thing that I was looking at doing is possibly parlaying it with the Caps money line, risking the same amount, like 1.05 units. So the same amount that you risk to win 1 unit to win 2. So it'd be double the payout. The Caps is also an early game. So if the Caps happen to lose, you could still play the Oilers later on, still for a unit on the puck line. But that's why I haven't posted it yet, because I don't know. The Caps play the Flyers. The Caps have been alternating wins and losses. The Flyers have been winning lately. Their offense has been good, but it's been against some shitty teams.
Yeah, they're playing some pretty good hockey right now.
Yeah, but when you look at who they've done it against, it was against Arizona, the Ducks, the Sharks, the Kings. They just shut out Buffalo, but I don't know. So we'll see. I might just play Edmonton straight. I might do the parlay, double the payout if the Caps. But yeah, I love the play. And if you're a VIP, I'm sure you know, though, Edmonton's just that team that I personally hate, just because they always seem to fuck around on me whenever I play them. So.
Yep, I've been on that VIP pass when they do
Yeah.
the hate stuff.
Yeah. So that's my only, it's just another reason I'm hesitant on it. But I agree with you. I think it's a great spot for them. I mean, yeah, the Ducks beat the Stars 2-0, which was kind of a fluke. They get outshot every game by a ton.
Correct.
So, and then that Sharks game they won, but I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they've met 4 or 5 times this season, and all but one game have gone into like overtime or shootouts, and
Correct.
The Ducks just get lucky every single time.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like when it goes to a shootout, you might as well live bet the Ducks, because it feels like they always pull it out in the shootout.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be
Jimmy.
hopping on your VIP in a bit. I'm actually at work right now. I was like, I'm gonna take a little break real quick, get on the podcast with them really quick for a little bit. But I appreciate you guys, man. I'll be logging on to get your VIP here shortly.
Sounds good, Jimmy.
Awesome.
Thanks, man. You guys have a good one, man.
You too.
Yes, well, there you have it.
Perfect.
Oilers puck line, first ever one.
I like it. You just know I got a couple of those teams in the NHL. The Flames are one. The Oilers are one. It don't matter the spot. Or the Canes are definitely one now. Those are probably my top 3, starting to be most hated NHL teams that are up multiple goals and seem to blow it every single time. So and we got King Peter from Twitter, another Canadian.
Yo,
what is good? Yeah, Portland, man. I like the spot a lot for them. They lost 4 straight, but they had lost 3 straight playing at home. They haven't played back to back since like about a month. They've only had 3 home games since December 12th, I believe. They won all 3 by double digits. Orlando, 5th game in 7 days. Also on a back-to-back on the road. Thought Portland would have pulled their head out of their ass and got their shit together, but no, they did not. Turning the ball over a ton, a lot of just stupid, lazy passes. It was hard to watch. Very hard to watch. And Lillard and the guys, Simmons was ice cold in the first half. He picked it up a little bit in the second half, but just no consistency. Nurkic is tearing it up. I think he leads the NBA in rebounds over the last 3 games. He's got almost 50 boards in the last 3 games.
Wow.
But yeah, and then to have 3 looks, like a couple of them pretty open. One was wide open, and not hit one of them just kind of sums up their night shooting. So
yeah, I mean, they made multiple pushes in the game. I mean, it was tied at half. It did look like they were going to be able to pull it off.
But that's the thing. They're down 13 at the end of the first. They outscored them by 13 in the second, tied up 50-50 at half, and then they start the third quarter on a 15-0 run. So you do all that to tie it up, and then within 4 minutes, you're down 15 again in the third. And you can't do that.
I agree, man. And, speaking of the opponent a little bit, the Magic, I mean, they are on a West Coast trip. I know we'll get more into the NBA as the show goes on here, but there's definitely going to be an opportunity to fade them. Little bottom out spots on this West Coast trip. You got the Jazz next, and you got the Nuggets after that as well. So I'm looking forward to maybe one of those 2 games being a spot to get some of our cash back on the Magic. But we do have Justin in the house. He's going to be joining us in just a second, but I got to give him a little intro here because last show, if you guys were watching, he gave out 2 plays in the chat. One was Thomas Bryant double-double, plus 105, cash it. Also loved Chicago plus 9, cash it. So he's coming in, cashing 2 on the show. Justin, thank you for joining us, my man.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
How's it going, man?
What's going on?
Pretty good, man. Today, man, I'm looking at Julius Randle, man, double-double. 7. He's had 7 straight double-doubles, man. So last 13 out of 14 games, he's had a double-double too. Also, the last 13 and 14 games, he's had over 10 rebounds. So if you want to play just the rebounds, So if you just want to play the rebounds prop, you can also play the rebounds prop too as well. So numerous things, man. I'm been looking at props big here lately. So I've cashed Julius Randle for the last 2 weeks. So
that's awesome.
Beautiful.
Man. Yeah. He in that Raptors game, I think he had 6 or 7 threes in the first quarter. Like he started out 6 for 7 from deep, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, his point shouldn't be a problem at all. And if you say 13 out of 14 games hitting that 10 boards, sounds like free money. What's the odds on that?
So I looked today. I know DraftKings had pulled it down. FanDuel right now, they had it at the double-double at minus 195. I didn't look at the rebounds because usually if I play rebounds, I usually parlay it with something else. So like last night, I parlayed a couple things like prop bets. So yeah, man, that was really his big thing is he's been killing the boards right now. That and points because man, Monday night against the Bucks, man, he had a double-double in the third quarter. So
wow.
Yeah.
It's probably not that bad. I mean, 195 is a little juicy, but when it hits that often, I mean, 13 out of 14 games, it has to be, And you say, if you parlay that with something, bring that juice down.
Oh yeah. I've been parlaying him. It's really been him and Nurkic, man. Nurkic. They've been killing it here lately. I know too. Sabonis. He's been killing it. Like Sabonis has like 20 games here lately. I think I looked this morning, like 17 of his 20 games, he's had at least a double-double or a triple-double.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's been just crazy, crushing it.
Yeah. So those 3 guys, man, I've been watching them and just parlaying them and just cashing money, man. So
yeah. You're a prop guy. What do you think of the Giannis rebound prop tonight?
Honestly, man, I'm scared to touch it because he burned me the other night against the Hornets. And I don't know, man. It's just like every time I pick Giannis to get a double-double, he does the opposite. It's like the guy, the night I don't bet on him, he gets 25 rebounds. And then the night I do, he has a night like he had against Charlotte where he had 6 rebounds. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. So,
yeah. I was just
but
asking
yeah,
because I was looking at that because you obviously got Capella out. I mean, Trae Young's now downgraded to questionable too. But I think if I remember right, Zubac got like 18 in the
yeah,
last matchup versus the Hawks. So
yep,
that's
for
kind of
sure.
what intrigued me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely know, man. For him, he did cash it for me. He did cash it for me the other night. I took a chance on him. He got a double. So
Yeah. Nice.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm actually looking at it. It seems that Giannis he goes on little clusters. So he'll cluster
oh
he'll
yeah,
cluster
man.
double digit boards, maybe two nights, and then he'll put up a dud. He'll do like
Hmm.
And
single digits. So makes sense.
nice hit on the Bulls too. I think that was what, an 8-point game.
Oh yeah,
They got +9.
and I caught it at +9 that morning, and I was like, yeah, no way, Boston. They beat Boston 2 times outright this year. Had already noticed that, so I was like, yeah, I'm jumping on that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's great, man.
Nice.
Well, let's get a third cash for you here, and then hopefully we'll see you next Monday.
Hopefully
With
so,
another.
man. Hopefully so. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Awesome, man.
appreciate
Thank
you,
you for
man.
joining us.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Awesome, man.
That man knows his props.
He does. He does. I gotta get my boy LaProps on here, man.
Yeah.
He'll come share some props with us. You know
Yeah,
him.
for sure.
All right. Zach Johnson throwing something in here. Thoughts on Bama?
Yeah, that's one of like 4 or 5 games that I'm looking at in college basketball. There's some sharp money on Arkansas, but I personally, if I was to bet it, I would probably bet Bama. If you look at their strength of schedule, Bama's been through a gauntlet, and they're just, even though it's a road game, tough environment, they're tested, man. They've played, I mean, everybody. Let me pull it up here. But yeah, I mean, the strength of schedule thing is big. Arkansas hasn't played nearly the strength of schedule. They're missing a couple guys. It opened at a pick 'em. I think Arkansas is like -1.5 now, so that's a little weird. There's a lot of college basketball games today that I'm just kind of watching throughout the afternoon, and then I'll pull the trigger here later on. So I'm just being patient. This is one of those games I am being patient on. But Bama ranks number 8 strength of schedule. I mean, they have 2 losses to number 3 UConn, number 14 Gonzaga. So you can't say anything about that. They've beaten Kentucky, Mississippi State, Memphis, the number 1 team, Houston, North Carolina, Michigan State, Liberty. I mean, they've played a ton of tough teams, whereas Arkansas, 108th strength of schedule, and they've lost to Creighton, Auburn, LSU, who's not that good of a team. They beat Missouri, Oklahoma, San Diego State, but other than that, so they've played 6 top 90 schools and they've split. Not too impressive. The only thing they got going for them in this one is home. 2 of their 3 losses. Creighton was a neutral site. LSU and Auburn was away. So you got to throw a little bit of weight into that. This one is at home. But let's look at Bama again. Bama's won true road games versus Mississippi State and Houston, the number 1 team in the country, on the road. And then South Alabama, which is whatever. Their 2 losses were on neutral courts. So Bama's shown that they can beat the number 1 team in the country on the road. Arkansas's got a couple guys out. So this is just like one, like I said, it's one I got my eye on. I'm watching it. We'll see what happens. Right now, had I put it in earlier, it would have been a pick 'em. Right now, I can get +1.5. So we'll see. The line movement a little weird and shit. So that's just why I'm waiting on that one there. But I really, even if Arkansas, I thought it was the play based on the line movement and stuff, I probably would stay away from it. Just because my gut tells me, I mean, Alabama on the road. I mean, you kind of have to play that. So,
yep. What's our thoughts on the Nashville Leafs game tonight?
That's not one I've dug into a whole lot. Nashville kind of screwed me the one night when they played Carolina. They got outshot a shit ton. I mean, that's just been not really last night, but the 2 games prior to that, Carolina outshot its opponents. I put it in yesterday's write-up. I don't know, 100 and some to like 40 or 42.
Yeah.
And they've been losing games like that, which is just crazy. So Nashville. I mean, they've won 4 straight. Montreal, and then 3 road games: Carolina, Washington, and Ottawa. So props to them, because that's 3 tough road games, especially the way Carolina and Washington are playing right now.
Yeah.
And they're decent sized underdogs in those too, and pulled it out. Leafs 3-2 in their last 5. They just beat the shit out of Philly. Philly's only lost really in the last 5-6 games, I think. Detroit, whatever, and then they did lose to the Blues and Seattle. Do you know who's in net? I haven't looked for that game as far as who's in net. But for me, man, like this type of game, I would probably, if I gunned ahead, have to play it. It'd be the Leafs, but I'd have to parlay it with something unless you want to do the puck line. But Nashville's been playing good. So maybe I don't know. You got nothing.
Not seeing anything confirmed for goalies, but I got Saros and Murray.
Carter Hart though is confirmed for Philly. That's interesting because he's been out. So first game back, and that's that Capitals game that I was looking at. So interesting. Saros 15, 10 and 1, 267 goals against average. I mean, he shut out Ottawa in his last one. Couple before that, he gave up 3 to Carolina, 3 to Montreal. This is just a tougher game, not one that I'm honestly going to touch. Matt Murray, 10-4 and 1, 257. I mean, the Leafs at home, it's kind of tough to go against them. But Nashville is playing good hockey. So, and that's why it's not one that I'm really going to touch, because I could see Nashville definitely pulling out the upset. But at the same time, they're probably due for a loss here too. I mean, 4 straight road game. They've won the first 3. So just not one I really have any interest in touching. I haven't handicapped the total or anything on this game, but maybe the total's more something to look at. It looks like that moved from 6.5 down to 6. It looks like Austin Matthews might be out for the Leafs. That's huge. Maybe even Nashville puck line. I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting spot.
Yeah.
Interesting spot.
I haven't looked where the money's coming in or anything either, but
thoughts on Mississippi, Georgia college basketball?
This isn't one that I'm probably looking at. It's a tough one. Look where the money's coming in and stuff too. Obviously, Mississippi State just beat Mississippi 5.5 on the road. As 5.5 point favorites. They beat them by 10. Last 3 before that to Drake, Bama, Tennessee. Georgia's been playing good ball, beat Notre Dame, Auburn, and then just lost to Florida by 7. And Florida also just beat LSU on the road. Obviously, last night we were on them. So let's see the money stuff. Yeah, Tuesday's usually a good day for a college basketball slate for sure. Yeah, 12-3 Mississippi State, 11-4 Georgia. Line open at 1.5. It's at 2.5 now. Looks like Mississippi State is getting some big money, and that's probably why the line moved from 1.5 to 2.5. 38% of tickets are on the money line. That represents 96% of the money. 58%. Difference. And then even on the spread, they're only getting 41% of tickets, 61% of the money. There's been some sharp moves on Mississippi State. But let's see. Look, one other thing. Where are they?
Thank you for joining us, my man.
I didn't even
Thank you for
realize this.
joining us.
Mississippi State is the 12th. Really, really good defense. I knew they were good. I didn't know they were that high. But let's see here. 278. Yeah, pretty comparable. I would, if I forced to bet it, just in a quick little minute here, it'd probably be Mississippi State. It looks like that's probably the right play, anyways. I haven't checked any injury stuff or anything like that to confirm all that stuff, but yeah, if forced to bet it, I'd probably take Mississippi State just based on the stuff that I'm seeing, just quickly looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. A little on-air cap.
I mean, I'll tell you, yeah. A couple of other games that I'm looking at. I got to play on the Memphis UCF game. I'm looking at the Bama Arkansas game. I'm looking at the Missouri Texas A&M game. I'm looking at the TCU Texas game. I also have a play posted on the total on the TCU Texas game already, and I'm looking at the Florida State Wake Forest game. So those are kind of the games that I'm kind of looking at in particular. So there's a couple other ones too. You got Baylor, West Virginia, pretty good matchup. And then there's a smaller school game that I'm looking at as well. And that is Abilene Christian and UT Valley. So small school. But those are kind of the ones that I'm looking at. I'm probably going to have quite a I got 2 posted right now. I'll probably have another 2 or 3 college basketball today. So it's going to be a bigger college basketball card, 4 or 5 college basketball plays for sure. I got 1 NBA posted right now, possibly another one coming. And then I will have 1 NHL play. We kind of talked about that one earlier. Do like the Oilers puck line. Just and I might just play that as a straight and not even fuck around with adding the caps to it. We'll see. It is Hart's first game back, though. Sometimes those first game back, you can be a little rusty and stuff too. So it might be a good spot to back the caps, but we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah, the Flyers are hot, but they've been beating some shit teams and some bad defensive teams. Anyone can score on the Sharks, the Coyotes, whoever else they played. But yeah, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that the same risk and double the payout. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sounds like a good recipe for me. Yesterday
I only had 1 NHL play, and it was liked like 4 or 5 other plays. And of course, all 4 or 5, well, besides the Flames sold again. All the others hit though. So just the way it goes.
Just the way it goes sometimes. Well, now that we're about halfway through the show here, just want to plug this a little bit. 25 or 20% off. We did extend this today. So we were running it yesterday. We extended it. So anybody that wants 20% off your next membership or extension, you can buy an early extension if you're a current member. Flash 20 is your promo code. Also have it in the ticker down there. In case you missed hearing that or missed this part of the show.
Kevin, Trae Young is out. I think he got downgraded to questionable. The only thing that, now the line I think is up to 4.5 the last time I looked here before the show. The only thing that's weird and I don't like, guys, honestly, is those injury games. Like last night I had somebody text me, really, the Clippers? Luka's playing, right? I'm like, I text him back. I go, I hope he plays. I'd rather have him play than not play. He thought I was nuts for saying that. I go, dude, every time somebody's out, weird shit happens. Look at the Warriors game last night. The Suns had fucking nobody. The Warriors get Curry back. Wiggins was already back. Thompson was he played, and they got beat outright. So, like, sometimes those injury games are just, they're weird. Weird shit happens.
They are
the
weird.
Bucks,
Trae Young is officially out.
He is out now?
He is officially out, yeah.
So, The problem with the Hawks is they have some other guys though that can step up. I mean, there's
They do.
quite a few games where Young is just off too, and he actually hurts them more than he helps them. Some games.
He's chucking threes and not hitting, man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's brutal.
It's bad.
They got that Griffin guy. You got DeJounte Murray. So, and I've seen them beat good teams without Young in there. So, I don't know. Probably, I'm personally going to stay away from it. The other game that's kind of intriguing me that we can talk about is that the Bulls Wizards game. I'm kind of liking the Wizards there. DeRozan is now doubtful.
Yeah.
The line flipped. I think they were +1. Now they're -1.5, -2. On my book, I could get -1.5, money line -135. If I was to play it, I'd probably buy a half and play -1 at -120.
Right.
So I don't know. What's popping out to you in the NBA?
Personally, that Wizards game, it is a weird line to me, but I don't know. I don't know if I can trust back in the Wizards without Bradley Beal, man. I know he hasn't really been there all year, so we have a decent sample size of how they do play without him. But I don't know. It's just weird, man. You know me with the Bulls. It's just it's like the Chicago Bears, man. I just got no read on them. I don't know why, but it's just weird. The Bucks-Hawks game was sticking out to me a bit, but I wanted to see what was going on. I mean, I liked the Bucks there initially, but they haven't been playing the best basketball. So I don't know, but just being on the show here, I was peeking at NBA here while you were talking about your college hoops, because I don't know what the hell's going on in college hoops. The Pelicans Celtics game is quite interesting, man. I think that line might be just a tad bit high.
Yeah.
Give me 9 points with the Pelicans. I mean, if we look back at their previous matchup, I believe the Celtics hit like damn near close to 23s the last time that they played.
They lost by 8, right?
And they lost by 8. I mean, are they going to do that again? I know Boston is on like a, they got their home win streak going on, but I don't know, man. I mean, the Pelicans are no joke. It's their third game on this little road trip. They did beat Washington, lost against Dallas, lost against the Nets. They haven't been playing the best basketball, but 9 just seems a bit high for me in this matchup. Just seems a bit high.
I agree.
So, I mean, if I had to pick one game that's really sticking out to me, it's not my favorite NBA board. I know, Kevin, you're asking me for a free play. If we were on yesterday, I could have gave you 3 and all 3 would have hit. We had the Thunder, we had the Clippers, and we had what was the other one?
Jazz.
The Jazz. I loved all of those. And we actually, Mike was on the Clippers as well, and the Thunder. So when me and him align, that's always a good thing. Even that Suns Nuggets game, I mean, Nuggets -13, they could smack them up, but do the Suns step up again? Can they?
No.
I don't know. Nuggets struggled covering that 13 against the Lake Show. It was right there. Sweaty.
We cashed that. I had -11 that game, I think, right?
Yeah, but it got all the way up to like 13 or 13.5, and for the later bettors, it got a bit sweaty.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the Suns have no one, man. I mean,
and on a back-to-back, they gave their best effort yesterday.
Right.
I don't know how the hell you back the Suns there. And surprisingly, the last time I looked, it was actually pretty split. Actually, the Suns are getting more money, 57%. Usually spots like that with those double-digit spreads. Philly was the prime example yesterday. The Pistons were getting a little bit more. The line reversed a little bit up to, I think it closed at 14.5, and Philly absolutely fucking crushed them.
Yep.
So it reminds me a lot of that game yesterday.
Yeah, and you got to always take advantage of the recency bias in the NBA. People see that they probably got beat on the Warriors last night.
The only thing I don't like about this is late in the fourth, they'll take the Joker out, and then, maybe they win by 10 instead of 13. They were just up 22 with 5 minutes to go, and, shit like that can happen.
Maybe we're looking at a if we think, I mean, this, I don't know if this would make a VIP card, but if we think that the Suns are going to come out a bit flat, why not take Denver Nuggets in the first quarter or the first half? The starters are going to play. Denver's first quarter stats, I believe, are pretty damn good. I haven't checked it in a minute, but I know earlier on in the year they were running.
Well, let's see about the quarters here.
Because I think that if we are worried about them taking Joker out or Jamal or, Porter
Here's
June,
the quarters. So Phoenix in the first quarter. Let's see here. Make sure I'm reading this right. Okay. Wow. So Denver in the first quarter is number 2 in the league, 31.1.
Mm-hmm.
Phoenix is number 29 at 27. So we got a 4.1 point discrepancy there. They both allow about 27 to 27.8 per quarter. So, but the Suns have a lot of guys out, so their defense isn't going to be as good. And then the second quarter is Nuggets are pretty much, they're not a fourth quarter team. And
no, they're not.
The Suns are number 4 in the third, and they're 29th in the first and 26th in the second, where the Nuggets are number 2 in the first, number 10 in the second quarter. So, yeah, they're 1.4. They average about 5 more points for the first 4. Ooh, and look at this. The Suns in the second quarter ranked 29th, allowing 30.2. And the Nuggets are actually number 1, allowing just 26.2 in the second quarter. So,
looking to me like a first half bet might be a decent spot.
First half, or actually I would do second quarter.
Second quarter. I could get -4 on that. I get -4 in the second quarter and -4.5. So what you were saying, it's right there where it should be in that first quarter. You got 115 both ways.
You got as far as scoring in the second quarter, Denver's 10th, Phoenix is 26th. As far as defense, you got number 1 versus 29. So, you got to think that if Phoenix covers, the way I see this game going is Phoenix comes out flat, Denver probably has a big lead. And then if Phoenix has any shot at covering, it's going to be probably in the fourth when they start pulling guys and do their typical bullshit. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, the only thing that does worry me a bit is, I'm very familiar with my Nuggies. They're by far probably my favorite team in the NBA, them and the Warriors to watch. They do have the Clippers on deck Friday. Now, do the Nuggets just get up because of the sight of the Suns uniform and they just want to smack them up? Or do they recognize, hey, they don't got anybody out there. Let's kind of save ourselves a bit here and go after the Clippers, because the Clippers.
It's an ESPN game. You got to note that.
Both
is a primetime game tonight.
Both are Friday too. Friday too, and then they have Orlando on Sunday, which they're not looking ahead to that by any means, but that could be a rest spot.
Yeah, but I think they'll play everybody. They'll get a big lead, and then they'll pull people. They even pulled the Joker with however much time left against the Lakers. Like, the game wasn't over. It was a 12-point game or something at the time, and they pulled them, and so.
Yeah, I think there's definitely something there in that first half. Me personally, I'd probably go first half just because thinking about that combination of stats that we have in the first quarter and the second quarter, why not just line it all up and protect ourselves from some variance and just play the first half? Personally, that would be me, but what do I know?
Yeah.
Kevin, he wants a free play. He wants a free play. Do we have a free play for him, Mikey?
I'll give you. I don't know what we're doing yet for free play, but if you're on here, I'll give you the TCU Texas under 143.5. So Texas allowed 116 versus K-State, and then the game after that, in their most recent game, they allowed just 46 to Oklahoma State. The over 7-2 in the Longhorns' last 9 games, hence a little bit inflated total. Texas ranks 20th in defensive adjusted efficiency. TCU ranks 25th in the same category. Obviously, we know both teams very good defensively. Texas ranks 11th in 2-point field goal percentage at 57%, but that is where TCU ranks 44th, allowing 45.5%. So that's where Texas gets all its points pretty much, is inside. And that is TCU's defensive strength. So as far as an underplay, I like that matchup. TCU is also terrible shooting from deep, under 30%, ranking 322nd. And Texas is also ranked 156th, making just 34%. So, and TCU only allows 29.9% from deep, to rank 37th defensively against the three. So I don't think we're going to see a ton of three balls here tonight, or makes anyways. I think most of the points are going to come from inside. We got two great defensive teams. And here's the thing too, is TCU ranks 67th offensively. You'd think that's pretty good. Normally it would be. But when you look at the strength of schedule, TCU ranks 319th in strength of schedule. So they've been doing this shit versus bad teams. So TCU isn't as good as the numbers show offensively. And they should struggle here versus a team like Texas offensively. And, Texas will struggle too. Inside, it's not going to be as easy playing a good defense like TCU. So that's pretty much why I'm on the under here. Yeah, TCU has good offensive numbers, but I think they're going to struggle more here tonight. I think those numbers are inflated due to they've had a weak strength of schedule, and I expect that to show. And they have beat some good teams, but overall their schedule has been weak. I just like the matchups, on both sides. Texas generates majority of its points from inside. TCU defends that well, so neither team shoots the three that well. Texas shoots the three ball better, but TCU also does a good job defending the three. So I'm not going to see as many threes. They just held Oklahoma State to 46 points. The over 7-2 in the last 9. I think that's why it's a little inflated, and it's also a little inflated because TCU has really good offensive numbers, but it's been against bad teams. So under 143.5. I know after I put it out there, let me check it again. There was some money coming in on the over, but it hasn't moved a whole lot. If anything, it's 144.5. Either way, 144.5, 145, somewhere in there is probably where it's at. There is some big money on the over, but I don't care. I like the under. I think this one should probably finish somewhere in the 130s. So I'm on the under.
Beautiful.
I didn't see that happening, or I would have waited. Obviously, to do it, you can probably get a better line than me right now. Like I said, I got 143.5. You should be able to get 144.5 to 145. Let me check my book and see where it's at right now. So you even get a little bit better line than me. But I'm not scared of that. You see that shit all the time in college basketball, and it still hits. So let's see.
Yep. Also, Justin, do you think that TCU has a chance to cover 6.5? I've been playing good ball, he says.
Oh, my book's still at 143.5. So just probably depends on the book. This TCU's getting all the money. The line's staying there at 6.5. I talked a little bit in the over-under write-up. Now I don't for sure have a play on this. This very potential though here for a play on the side for sure. But like I said in that write-up that I just discussed, TCU TCU, I don't think is going to be that good offensively tonight. So if I had to lean here initially, it would be Texas at home. Let me look up the schedule shit again here too. But I think TCU's offensive numbers are a little overrated. Texas obviously is at home. This is a tough road environment. Yeah, Texas doesn't have their coach and all that stuff, but they'll be fine. I don't see TCU coming in, taking care of business, and it kind of reminds me of the Iowa State Texas Tech. There's a lot of people on Texas Tech yesterday, and Iowa State fucking just blew them out. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. It's almost the same type of spread. All the money's on TCU here. The line's really not moving. It's staying at 6.5. Texas is a top 20 defensive team, top 15 offensive team. They're at home. They just lost to K-State at home, so they're avenging a loss at home. TCU is 319th in strength of schedule. I think Texas is like in the top 150. So I think TCU is kind of like their football team right now, guys. I think they're kind of frauds. And I expect that to show tonight. TCU did play Iowa State tough. They lost by 2, but that was at home. This is on the road. And you're playing Texas. You're not playing Iowa State. So, yes, TCU beat Baylor by 1 point on the road. They beat Texas Tech, who is proven to be really not as good. They beat Utah, a decent, top 50 team. They beat Iowa early on in the year when Iowa was struggling on a neutral site. Other than that, guys, they played a lot of teams ranked 200 to 350. I mean, they played Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Lamar, Louisiana Monroe. They lost to Northwestern State. They beat Cal, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley, Central Arkansas. The only tough games they played, Iowa, Providence, Utah, Texas Tech, Baylor, and Iowa State. You look at Texas, they've beaten Oklahoma State on the road. They lost to K-State. They beat Oklahoma, beat Creighton, lost to Illinois. They beat Gonzaga, Stanford, probably their next toughest one. But Texas is just the better team. They're at home. TCU's benefited from an easy schedule. That's why their offensive numbers are inflated. And that's why the spread is what it is. And I think it's kind of like that Iowa State game. They set it there. Everyone thought, oh, that's way too many points for Texas Tech. And everyone's saying the same thing here. It's way too many points for this TCU team. Well, I think Texas wins by double digits here tonight. So could be pretty easily. I mean, we could see TCU get beat by 15 plus here, I think. So
interesting,
we'll
my man. Interesting.
This is one that I'm still watching. I don't have a play on it right now, but if I'm betting aside on this game, I'm taking Texas. There's no way in hell I'm betting TCU. No
Absolutely.
chance.
Absolutely. So. We got Will from Game On in here. What up, Will? How you been, buddy?
What's going on, man?
I miss this guy.
Who do you like? What do you like Sunday? Will's a big NFL guy.
Oh, God. Guy. One of the biggest. Oh, yeah, I know. We bond very well.
I know. I already know you're on the Bucks +3 on Monday. I already know that, Will.
Oh, Will's taking a money line. Who you kidding? Will, you got to come on the show, man. Please. It'd be great. Let's find a time. We do Monday and Wednesdays now at 1 to 2. So hopefully we can find a time where we can get you on here, buddy. It'd be great. But yeah, speaking of NFL, touch on it a little bit. I know you released a teaser.
The Bills was one of the legs in the teaser. I teased it. It was 9.5 when I put it in this morning. I got it at -2.5 in the teaser. 2 hours, 3 hours later, 2 was announced out. The spread jumps to 12.5, 13. So that's good. Even if you haven't put in that teaser, say you buy a package today and you're like, oh shit, I would still play that. You can tease it down to 5.5 now. I don't see how the Bills don't win by 6+, 7+. They don't win by a touchdown at home.
Sure.
Now everything they're playing for, Hamlin's home now. You throw all that shit in there, but the Bills are just better team. They're at home. It's playoff time. And I think the Bills will look better than they did kind of at the end of the regular season here. It's playoff football time now. So I think the Bills kind of look like one of those teams that just kind of got bored towards the end of the season. You know what I mean?
That worries me though.
Yeah, but teams like that, I think, can turn it up. I mean, it's kind of like the Warriors sometimes. They just look bored, and then come playoff time, it's fucking go time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like in football, though, man, it's something about that. It just worries me. I'm not worried about him in this game by any means, but I'm just talking about like longevity in the playoffs. Say they have a down game, say they just cover this spot by 7 points. You know what I mean? They don't cover the real spread. They cover our teaser, and we're happy people, but others aren't. And they're just kind of moseying from the regular season. I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Chiefs. Like last year, they were moseying throughout the season, and they ended up getting beat by the Bengals in the AFC Championship. I don't like when these really good teams take their foot off the gas, man. I don't
they'll
like
have
it.
a game, though, to kind of tune up here and get ready for the tougher competition. I don't see them really having a problem at home here versus Miami.
No.
Miami's lucky to even fucking be there. And Tua, clearly we know, I mean, the last game I bet that Tua played was that one where they should have beat the Packers, and he threw back-to-back interceptions in the second half. I guess he had a concussion that we didn't know about. So unfortunate there, but Miami's not going to be able to do much versus that defense with Skyler. He's not like Purdy, dude. You know what I mean?
No. Purdy's a machine, man.
They still got Hill and all that stuff, but against that Bills D, I can see him making some mistakes, turnover too. And Miami's defense, I mean, they look good against the Jets, but the Jets haven't been doing shit offensively.
Right, the Jets really hit a wall. That's for damn sure. As far as Tua, though, man, I mean, just speaking quickly on it, I'm kind of worried about him, man. I mean, what was that, like 3 concussions in one season? Kind of worried about him. And I also don't really necessarily like how the coaching staff treated him. I mean, they're just treating him kind of like a commodity out there. Oh, just get out there and play. I mean, yeah, that's old school stuff. But now with all the concussion protocols, and I mean, back in the day, that was football. But now
it's probably good he's not playing this weekend.
It's good that he's not playing. And, just for the longevity. Career. I mean, yeah, like doctors can say, hey, you can't play no more. So I'm kind of worried about him. We'll see what happens. Will is he thinks the Jags will pull it off. Good.
I like it.
They could.
There's a lot of good games.
There is. According to my research, I think the Chargers are one of the most heavily bet teams as of right now.
Jags are sneaky, man. They're hot.
They are hot. That's what worries me. They're
at home. They're at home.
I know. And the Chargers, talk about a team that just fucking
Staley,
all
I can't
year.
stand, dude. Besides him having balls to go for it on fourth and stuff, that's the one thing I like about him. Everything else, I can't fucking stand. I told you this the other day. When you got 20 people in the room, he's the guy who thinks he's the fucking smartest one out of everybody. Fucking leaving starters in for 3 quarters and then saying, well, we only got so many active guys. Fucking everybody's got the same amount of active fucking guys, dude. Who cares? Throw somebody else in there. The game doesn't fucking mean anything, Staley. It means fucking nothing. You go out there and fucking play quarterback. Jesus Christ.
He could have signed me. I would have took the 1-day contract for a couple $100,000.
Doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean?
Who can't throw it up to Keenan Allen?
That game, Williams and Bosa both left hurt. Now, granted, they'll both probably play this weekend and stuff, but what the fuck are you thinking? And then you still left your quarterback out there?
Yeah, I mean, Stephen A. said that he deserves to be fired if the Chargers lose. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Corey throwing up a question about player props. You play more of them.
You'll be seeing more of them. There's one that I'm looking at here today and stuff. It's just something, I'll be honest with you. There's something that I just didn't really have a ton of time for. I just more focused on games, but now having more time and all that stuff, it's something that I'm going to get into it more. But another reason being too is I live in Minnesota, so I don't have the DraftKings book, the FanDuel book. I don't have that stuff where I can go parlay a Julius Randle double with this or that.
When you get
'Cause
that, you really
the books
won't
that I
sleep.
have, the books that I have don't have that kind of shit. So I guess that's probably the biggest reason why I haven't, I can do some like even shots on goal and stuff. I'd love to do some of those, which I guess I can post them in the lean stuff. But I don't even have a book that has shots on goal that I can even do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if I had some of those more legal books, you'd probably see more of that stuff. But like my book, I can do some, over under passing yards, rebounds, points, that kind of shit. So
yeah, the bare bones.
And books usually limit you to on how much you can put on them. Like even my heritage book, I can probably do a lot of that shit, but they'll limit me at, $400 or $500 or something. So
yeah,
it's like fuck it. But
Will saying he's leaning Baltimore.
Bro, the spread is up
line.
to 7, and it's just gonna keep going up, dude.
It's at 8.
It was at 7 this morning. Now that's at 8.
It's at 8 right now. Yeah. I don't know. Division game, man. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything
I will
can happen.
say I've been kind of a Bengals hater last year, even this year, but it's them, the Bills, or the Chiefs, man. It's Bengals have been. I mean, I'd actually probably like to see the Bengals lose, just because for some reason, I'm just not a Bengals fan. But I mean, I
You've
like
been hating
Burrow
on
and
them all
stuff,
year.
but-
They're 12-4.
Well, I just don't think they deserve to be in the Super Bowl last year.
I know.
And I didn't think they'd be as good as they are this year, but they are. They proved me wrong.
Yeah.
But they're hot. They're good. They're at home. Baltimore. I get the whole divisional game and all that shit, but you got a quarterback. How many weeks has it been since Lamar's even played in a fucking game?
I don't know. Is he even gonna play?
I don't know.
I mean, I
But
think he might be shutting himself down.
That line going up might tell you that he's not playing. You know what I mean? You really Joe Burrow versus fucking Huntley? I mean, you really think
Huntley
Huntley's
can't score, man? I mean,
No,
they
they
were
can't do
having
shit.
problems scoring when Lamar
You got
was
Andrews. Other than that, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, the Ravens haven't put up. I mean, this is a game that's really interesting to me. The Ravens have not put up 20 points or over since November 27th against the Jaguars.
So we're talking 5-6 weeks, 5-6 games, right?
Under 20 points. It's just unbelievable. Here's his reasoning.
I don't like that, man. I don't think the Bengals think this is going to be another easy win. Look at what they've been doing. How many times have they covered straight?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of probably been thinking that, keeps betting against them and just keeps getting burned. And I've been one of them.
Yeah. Weird stuff does happen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They've won 8 straight. They're 7-1 against the spread. Well, depending on what line you got on the Baltimore game. If you got 11.5, then you lost by a half point. If you got 11, they pushed. But and we're talking New England on the road, Tampa on the road, Cleveland, Kansas City. But Cincy, like I talked about too, is one of those teams that's gotten lucky a few games. That Patriots game, they probably could have lost, should have lost. That fumble in the end zone, the missed extra points. I mean, had the Patriots made extra points, they wouldn't even been in that position. They could have at least kicked a field goal. Okay, you did miss extra points. You are in that position. 1st and goal at the 5, you fumble the fucking ball and give the game away. And then that Kansas City game, that Kelsey fumble. Otherwise, they wouldn't have won that shit either.
You're right.
They've had some games bounce their way and gotten lucky. That Saints game when the Saints were up the entire game till the last 2 minutes when he throws a fucking Hail Mary to Chase to fucking win it. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I guess maybe that's why the Bengals, I mean, they're not like TCU frauds. I mean, they're a good team, but they've had a lot of luck.
Sure.
A lot of shit's bounced their way.
Sure. Another one he threw in here is Barkley props over this weekend against your precious Vikings.
Yeah, we have no run defense. So
Yeah. I think the Giants can do it, man. The more I look at the game, the more I see
I
potentially
like
the
the
Giants.
total, personally.
Yeah. I don't know. All I know is I'm betting Tampa Bay. Money line.
No, and I'm not.
Tommy.
I don't expect the Bengals to win easy or anything like that. It could be a close game. I just don't see the Bengals losing the game. That's all.
Yep. I agree. I think there's a nice opportunity for one of my 4-team 13-point teasers here. Yeah. Because I feel that's the only way I can win in the NFL is if I basically get 2 touchdowns. But they've been hitting, man. They've been hitting. I sadly my last one pushed. What was it? It was the Hamlin week when he went down. I had the Bills plus 12 against the Bengals, and because he went down, the game got canceled. It ended up being a push. But I would have had I would have been on a 4 or 5 week cash every single week for the last 5 weeks. 4-team, 13-point teaser. For me, it's where the money's at. Oh man. And Game On is saying we definitely need to do a show. Yes. I don't think Mike's going to join us for that because he's just
We'll do a show when my Eagles future $2,000 to win 25 is looking good.
Yeah, Mike's not joining us for any Tampa Bay shit, but I will gladly.
The Bucks could pull it out on Monday, but I don't see them doing shit after that if they do.
Tommy is 7-0 against the Cowboys, man. I don't think it has anything to do with Tom, though.
Cowboys have so much pressure on them, though, man. Dak,
are they going to crumble? McCarthy, is he going to crumble? I mean, history shows yes, they will. And Tom's been there before. This is a championship team. A lot of the people are back from the Super Bowl.
They're going to go that way, or Dallas will just blow them the fuck out. And Dak's going to throw 4 or 5 touchdowns, no picks, fucking. It's going to go one of 2 ways.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think that depending on how things go, depending on how the money goes, and depending on how a lot of things go this weekend, the Buccaneers might just be one of those teams the last time that Vegas gets to steal some money from the public because, they had not a good football team this year. They had one good game against the Panthers. Tom went nuts, won my fantasy championship because of it. But
that Chiefs game we went to was fucking awful.
It was awful. It was disgusting. So much money lost for me. It was just awful. But they're just not a good football team this year, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Yeah, Will, I'd be hedging for sure because I like the Niners. I probably actually like the Niners right now more than Philly. But
love me some Purd, man.
I got Philly at plus 1,100, like $2,000 to win 25, a little over 2 units to win 25 units. So
yep.
And we cashed. I had a little one on the Rams last year, but for VIP we had cashed the Warriors and NBA, so it'd kind of be cool to cash the NBA one, now the NFL, and then do a NHL and get the MLB next year. We tried this year with the Dodgers. That didn't work out. But
yeah, those fuckers.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that pretty much concludes the show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us and watching. Mike, any closing notes?
Nope. Let's just have another plus day, make it 3 for 3 this week. And I truly think we're on the verge of having just a breakout day, not just a couple units. I want to start getting those 5-6 unit days rolling here. So Trust me, they're coming, but we're going to stay disciplined, play the system. When some days we might have 3 2-unit plays, some days we might not have any. Just depends on the day, depends on the slate. So just be patient, and also just be patient in general as far as plays coming and stuff. Just like I said, there's 3-4 plays that I'm looking at, just kind of watching lines, feeling shit out, and then they'll be coming. So
Absolutely.
And thank you, Justin and Jimmy, if you're still on here. Appreciate those. Looking forward to tracking and seeing how your picks go tonight. Good luck on them.
Yep.
Cash them and bring some more heat on the next show. So
absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. It was great. And you guys did see Jimmy and Justin come on here. We want to do that for more of you guys and get more of you guys involved. You're going to be seeing our social media posts and everything like that. All you got to do is send us an email. You pop on for a couple minutes. You guys saw how it runs. So good luck to you guys for your plays. Good luck to us. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, invest wisely and live freely.